Hi everyone, this is Nick Vampire coming to you live from Virginia Beach, Virginia with my video log for Vampire Diaries, Season 3, Episode 6, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Very dynamic episode, not so much edge of your seat like Episode 5, but very close. A lot of good scenes, a lot of good dialogue, especially for Damon. So episode starts off, this one, it takes place the next day, right after Episode 5, right after the prank. This is first day of senior year. Elena gets up early to meet Rick because apparently she wants to get her Buffy on. She wants to learn how to fight vampires. But through a series of training exercises involving handheld sticks, she realizes she's not strong enough. Yeah, she can throw a punch, but she can't make the stake stay in a person's chest. So Rick demonstrates to her that she needs to put some meat on her bones, and she also needs to be aware of the element of surprise by throwing a fully loaded pin-pot vervain grenade in her face, which she makes her think that he's only sees this as a joke, but he's being deadly serious. She needs to know that these vampires don't care and that they will do whatever they have to get whatever they want. She knows that he really means, when he says vampires, he really means stuff. He just doesn't want to say this to her because he knows how she feels right now and that she's upset. But she doesn't want him to sugarcoat. She's tired of being looked at as being weak. She wants to be strong. So, first day of school. The girls walk into school. They've got smiley faces on. They're trying to act like this is the first day of our senior year, the greatest year of our high school life. They're trying to maintain, even though you know in their hearts they know that their lives are totally screwed up. Each one of them has serious issues, but they're trying to, they're trying to make a fresh start. Jeremy tries to talk to Bonnie, which doesn't go over well. She's still upset about the whole seeing spirits thing. More upset about Anna than about Vicky because he doesn't see Vicky as much as he sees Anna. And apparently his relationship with Anna is getting closer and closer the more and more that they talk. Because if you remember, when Anna was around, he loved her a lot. His relationship with her was much deeper than it is with Bonnie. And I think she worries that she's losing him. And from next week's previews, I think she has a reason to be. So she doesn't want to talk to him. Damon calls Elena in the school to make sure she's okay. She says that she's all right. She doesn't need him looking after her all the time, but he doesn't mind doing it. She can hear Stefan in the background because he's at the house. And Stefan right now is completely checked out of the building. I mean, completely checked out of the building. He's as you pan into the house, Damon walks in, and there's bodies stacked up next to the archway. The girls are already dead. There's a bunch of obviously compelled girls with various bite marks all over their bodies playing a game of Bloody Vampire Twister. It's really quite depraved and quite sick what he's doing to these girls. Because he's the one that's spinning the dial on the twister board, so wherever it lands on is wherever he bites them at. I don't think I've ever even seen Damon do something that sick. He just goes in, takes, compels, goodbye. Stefan likes to torture them, even though they don't know that they're being tortured. He likes to make them suffer, even though they don't know they're suffering. Damon just feeds and moves on. Damon's telling me, you really need to stop. This is my house too. I'm getting tired of having to clean up after you. Please, for God's sake, dispose the bodies. Blah blah blah. So he's talking on the phone to Elena. She can hear him in the background. And she asks if he's okay, what is he doing? She says to me, you can tell me. I have to deal with it. But he doesn't feel like she can because of the new lows that Stefan sunk to. He doesn't feel like he doesn't want to burden her with this depravity. So he fakes it. Ring, ring, oh, there's a school bell. Say bye, bye the bell. Talk to you later. Click. So right around that time, Tyler walks in. Caroline comes in this way, Tyler walks in this way. And they start to chit chat, and Caroline, she can smell the blood around him, and she sees the spot on the blood on his shirt. She's like, "What the? Oh!" And the two of them drag him into the bathroom, and like, "You are not supposed to wear your breakfast out in public." It's like, "Oh, easy, come on. You know, I was just eating. It was just one blood bag. Like, it doesn't matter. You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to do that." And she finds out that he got it from Rebecca. Apparently, she's hooked them up because he's Klaus's new asset. Yada yada. So Rebecca's taking care of him. She's like, "Why are you talking to Rebecca? Isn't she the bad guy? What in the world? Are you crazy?" Apparently, Tyler has taken on season 1 Tyler persona. Pretty much acting like a douchebag. It's the Tyler that no one liked. Not even Tyler liked that version of himself. No one's really sure why he's doing that. I think maybe because he's now a hybrid. It's something about him is different, you know, so he's acting differently. Caroline doesn't like this at all. She says you better stop and better be more careful, he's going to get caught. So, next scene is in the classroom. Okay. My jaw about hit the floor with this. First, Rebecca decides to invite herself to live in the Salvatore mansion. Stephen's like, "Sure, why not? I don't give a fuck." Because he really doesn't care. She wants him, and he acts like she doesn't even exist. Which kind of pisses her off because she's still in love with him and wants to be with him. Now that he's been compelled to turn off his humanity switch, he could really care less. To him, she's meaningless. She's nothing. Which kind of makes her angry. So she has nowhere to go because when Klaus dipped out, he left her behind to look after Tyler. So she's kind of destitute. Dean was like, "Really? Freaking Barbie Klaus? Are you serious?" No, he doesn't want her there, but it's not like he can fight her. It's not like he can tell her no. Because she'd probably rip him to pieces. Worse than that, school starts, history classroom, Alaric, of course, is teaching, and who walks in the door? Barbie Klaus. Apparently, she has signed herself up as a senior at Mystic Falls High School and is now attending every class that those kids are in. Really? There's a point at which, you know, okay, Stefan can pull it off because Stefan looks like he's 17 because that's when he was turned. She does not look that young. I don't know how the hell she managed to pull off beyond compulsion because she looks way too old. Way too old to be in high school. Those kids have got to see it, especially the ones, not necessarily the ones that already know who she is, but the other kids are, what is this girl doing here? So next scene is on the track. Everyone's doing their PE thing. Elena's running around the track, and Caroline is still in charge of the spirit squad, so she's, you know, leading them. Apparently there's a spot open because the girl Dana from the last episode, the one that Stefan slaughtered, was a member of the spirit squad, so now there's an open spot. So Miss Thing herself, Rebecca, steps right in and decides to join the spirit squad. Apparently she is now stalking Caroline, while at the same time stalking Tyler. She wants to become Caroline in a weird, freakish sort of way, because since she can't set her sights on Stefan, she's now set her sights on Tyler. And she has to become the type of girl that Tyler likes, which is Caroline. It's really kind of sick, and in a way quite sad that she's that desperate. So the guys are doing their football practice, and apparently that night there's a bonfire, and all the guys, none of the guys want to be at school anymore. They want to they want to, you know, be done so they can go and get their drunk on at the bonfire. So Tyler makes a colossal error in judgment and compels the coach to let them finish early. Right out and open. I'm like, really? Are you serious? Did you just do that? You can see the look on Kara's face. She's like, I cannot believe this crap. What the hell has he turned into? So everybody disperses. Meanwhile, Elena's still running on the track. I should tell you, a scene before this, when she was actually in the school, Stefan was there. He hadn't been in school for a while, but he re-enrolled himself for his senior year just to follow her around. She feels distinctly not comfortable with him being there. He follows her wherever she goes, treats her like crap. Rick comes out and sees this and warns him off and tells him to go away. And Stefan nonchalantly just tosses him up against the locker and says, you better stay out of my way. I'm going to kill you. And then on the track, he says, I don't have a choice. You think I want to be here? Going to school for another year? It's ridiculous. Of course I don't want to. I'm stuck having to do this because Klaus wants you protected. The human blood bag. Like, gee, Stefan, way to be jerk. That's really, really rude. Way to be an asshole. So she's trying to avoid him. She turns around to get away from him and actually bumps into another kid who's running the right way down the track. And Stefan sees him, just shoves him to the ground just for bumping into her, which is actually her fault for walking backwards in the wrong direction that the track was going in. I'm like, who in the world are you? There is a level, and he has surpassed that, of how sick in pride he's really. I was right. I knew that it was only going to get worse for him. He was going to spiral downward, and he has, and quick. So after that, I guess somewhere in the interim of the sports scene, she must have called Damon again because she was unnerved by Stefan being everywhere. And he shows up at the gym where she was at, and she's lifting weights. And he kind of, this is a really awesome Damon Elena scene. Probably the hottest scene yet. He holds the weight, but he applies a little bit of pressure just to be kind of catty, I guess. And he says to her, so you called, I came, what's your plan? And he's holding a steak in his hand. You try and get your Buffy on? I hate to burst your bubble, but Stefan is high on human blood. He's ultra strong. You can't just pick him up and take him wherever you want him to go. Apparently, Elena's plan is that she wants to lock him up in the basement of the boarding house again, like she did last time. But this isn't, a one-time thing where he just got a little bit of blood. This is beyond. And Damon knows it's not going to work. But he's committed to being there for her no matter what. And so he says that he'll do whatever she needs him to do. That's all she ever has to say, Damon, do it for me. And boom, sure, no problem. So she feels kind of scared and worried that she won't be able to fight back. So he takes her hand and puts it to his chest. And she's like, what are you doing? He says, do you feel this? This is the sternum, solid bone. And then he turns her around and he's holding her with his arm around her waist. I'm like, oh shit. You could see the look on her face when he was touching her. Her eyes went closed and she was totally into it. Like she kind of went back into his embrace and she was into it. And he put his hand up against her side and he said, right here is this spinal cord. This is the way to a vampire's heart. And then she turned around again and he said her he would do whatever she needed him to do. Awesome Damon Elena scene. Probably the hottest one I've seen yet. And definitive proof that she is that into him.